Hi, this is Frode, and today we will explore 3 key ideas from Organize Tomorrow Today by Dr. Jason Selk and Tom Bartow with Matthew Rudy. Organize Tomorrow Today. Subtitle: 8 Ways to Retrain Your Mind to Optimize Performance at Work and in Life. Jason Selk is a sought-after performance coach. Tom Bartow is a premier business coach. And in Organize Tomorrow Today, they share the tools that we can use to create peak performance at work, sports, and in life. I especially liked the practicality, the simplicity, and the inspirational style of the book, with a lot of great stories of people who have succeeded with these tools that they share. And I also love the way that the authors share, they emphasize choosing just one improvement to go for and then sticking to it. Not trying to apply everything in the book all at once, but just choosing one thing, which we'll talk more about in the third big idea. But today I want to share with you 3 skills that you can develop to improve your performance. First, how to set strong priorities. Secondly, how to evaluate your performance effectively to improve it. And thirdly, a superpower for creating lasting change. First, let's begin. How do you set strong priorities? Before applying the tool that I'm going to share with you very soon, I was just horrible at setting priorities myself. I would, in the beginning of my days, I would just write these simple to-do lists of everything that I wanted to get done in a day without having any sense of what was most important, what needed to get done when, and that led to me being very demotivated because I never really knew whether I had done something important. I might be checking off boxes, which is a good feeling in itself, but I didn't know if it really mattered much. I would often, after getting into the middle of my days, freeze because of just the sheer amount of tasks, the number of tasks that I needed to get done. I'd become much like a deer caught in the headlights, being run over, smooshed all bloody over the windshield, and perhaps coming inside the car and dying on the spot. The equivalent of my days being wrecked from not having a clear sense of priorities. But when I started to use this tool of setting a few clear tasks, choosing a few clear few tasks that were most important, and then ruthlessly focusing on getting those done, I started to feel much more motivated, much more clear on what I would need to get done, and at the end of my days I feel much more satisfied, knowing I did something that really mattered, even if just for 1 minute on the things that I had chosen to. So enough of the examples. How do you actually organize tomorrow today? What this tool is called, what they named the book after, and what is in the first chapter. Something that is perhaps signifies that it's a really important tool. How do you set strong priorities? You ask yourself 2 questions at the end of your day, so right before bed. First question: what are the 3 most important things I need to get done tomorrow? You write those 3 things down. Second question is, what is the one most important thing I must get done? You circle that one, and then you set a time frame for each of your 3 most important tasks by when you should have completed them. Now, the reason for why you do this in the evening right before bed is that this will help your subconscious mind work on it during the night. Your subconscious doesn't really like unfinished tasks, and therefore it will work on what you have given it, and which will prepare you more for your performance for your task. The reason why I want to create so few priorities is because of something called channel capacity. We can only take so much information all at once. If we go beyond a certain number, then everything starts becoming muddled, which is no longer setting priorities. It's just creating a to-do list. So set 3 most important and circle the 1 very most important that would make the day a success even if you did nothing else, just lounge on the couch. And the reason why we want to set a time frame is because of the sense of urgency it sets. I didn't use the time frame at first. I just set the tasks, and I would notice that I might spend the entire day getting those 3 most important things done. But they're supposed to just take 2 or 3 hours for most. When I actually have begun now, 3 days ago, setting time frames, I feel much more motivated to actually do those 3 things first, before doing pretty much anything else. So, that is how you organize tomorrow today to set strong priorities. Let's go to the second big idea. How do you evaluate your performance effectively to improve it? Have you ever bought a car or some clothing, perhaps some shoes, and then started to notice those things everywhere? I bet you do. And one recent example for me is I bought a set of black Nike running shoes, and I can now see them very often, much more often than if I hadn't bought them. And this phenomenon of noticing things more when we get them occurs because of the law of focus. What you focus on expands, and what expands you'll tend to experience more of. So how does this relate to improving our performance? If you focus on the negative, the things that you do badly, then you'll start to expand those things and make more of them in your life. If you focus on the positive things, the things that you do well, you'll tend to experience more of those things and do more things well. Some examples of negative might be focusing on the negative consciously or subconsciously. Evaluate yourself on the negative things you did. Might be saying something stupid in a conversation and looking like a fool. Skipping a workout and therefore feeling lazy and tired. Or not doing everything on your to-do list and therefore deserving to be skewered on a steel rod and roasted in hell, to put it lightly. The opposite example of focusing on the positive things, the things you did well, would be saying something considerate to a person, making them feel cared for, doing your workout even though you didn't really feel like it because you're just a person of such ruthless consistency on your good habits. Or not doing everything on your to-do list perhaps, but doing your 3 most important things and crushing them during your days. So remember the rule, what you focus on expands, and what you expands you'll experience more of. And the practical tool that I want to share with you is called the success log for evaluating your performance so you can improve it. It goes like this. At the end of your days, ask yourself 3 questions. First, what are 3 things I did well in the past 24 hours? Write those things down, and you want to make them as so specific and focused on something you actually do that you can imagine yourself doing the task. For example, going for a run even though I didn't feel like it, or eating a healthy meal even though I was tempted to eat a donut. Eating a salad when I was tempted to eat a donut. You want to make it specific enough so you can see what you actually did well. So that's the first question. What are 3 things I did well in the past 24 hours? Second question is, what is 1 thing I want to improve in the next 24 hours? You want to state this in the positive, not I don't want to eat such junk food in the next 24 hours, but I want to eat more healthfully. And the third question is where we make it specific. What is what can I do right now to make my desired change, improvement? Then for the healthy eating, vague desire, you can choose the specific action of eating 1 salad in the morning instead of the usual chocolate bar or only cup of coffee I drink. Now that's the success log, and when you start using this, 2 things or 3 will start happening. You will feel much more motivated by seeing that I'm actually doing a lot of great things during my days. can I do even more perhaps? You'll feel much more confidence because when you start focusing on the things you do well, you start seeing yourself in a much brighter light and you're seeing yourself capable of doing more. And thirdly, of course, you'll start noticing improvements because you're focusing on the specific things that you want to improve. And you're evaluating yourself on whether you did those things well. That's how you evaluate your performance effectively to improve it. And our last and third big idea is a superpower for creating lasting change. Imagine that you're a wolf. You're walking through the woods and have a ravenous hunger. You're so hungry you could eat a moose. Bones, intestines, eyeballs and all. Suddenly you come upon two white rabbits, which are standing in the woods. But they quickly notice you, so they start running off in opposite directions. Being as hungry as you are, you start running after one of them, and would just seem like a wolf possessed with the speed at which you're running after it. When you almost reach the first rabbit, you can see the other one looks much more juicy. So you just start running after that one instead. But when you get close to that one, you see that it's actually not juicy. It's just old and limpy. So you start running after the other one again. And you quickly find yourself stuck in the woods. The rabbits are gone. You didn't catch either one of them. And you are still hungry. Hungry as fuck. Now, the key takeaway for us here is the Russian proverb, chase two rabbits and you'll catch neither one. And I would say, commit to chasing one rabbit and you stand a much greater chance. The way that this relates directly to us creating lasting change is the wolf's hunger for food is like your motivation to create change. After reading a book, watching a YouTube video like this, sharing many ideas that you can apply to your life, or seeing an inspiring example in a biography, or going to a seminar of people who share all of these crazy good ideas that you can apply to your life to reach your highest potential. And then you want to start changing everything immediately all at once. You start chasing 100 different rabbits, or 2 or 3. And that's when you will perhaps find yourself going strong for the first few days or weeks, but then you will start hitting a wall and it will just be impossible. It will feel impossible to do the things you have set out to do. So what you want to do instead of trying to make all changes all at once, not sticking to any of them, is to choose just the one most important change we can make, then making that a lifelong habit, at best, in the best case that is. So when I commit to one change and then nail it, to complete it successfully 90% of the time over 3 months. In other words, you want to complete the habit you chose, the one habit, then complete it 9 out of 10 days, 90 days. And thereby you'll start nailing your habit, feeling like it's second nature, it's automatic, and then you can start developing the next one. Now we must realize that there are several factors playing into the habit formation, like the difficulty of the habit or simplicity, whether you have developed a similar habit and are running that in your life right now, which will make it a bit easier, or any other factor that can impact it. But I would recommend that any type of habit you create, go with it for at least 30 days, and at best 90 days before you start focusing on another one, while maintaining the first one. So that is how you use your superpower for creating lasting change. Instead of chasing 2 rabbits, chase just 1. Right, those are 3 skills we'll learn today. How to set strong priorities, effectively evaluate your performance to improve it, and create lasting change. Remember our last idea, don't try to improve all of these at once. Just choose the one which most resonated with you, and then nail it for 30 to 90 days. What's yours? And if you didn't like any of them, that's also okay. You can just go on to do something else and pat yourself on the back for looking into these ideas. They all help, and the seed is planted, so It might bloom inside your mind later, and you'll choose to apply these ideas at another time, in a month or a year or a decade, perhaps in another lifetime. That's a quick look at Organize Tomorrow Today by Jason Selk and Tom Bartow. I hope you enjoyed it, and please like this video, share it with your friends, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on key ideas for becoming everything that you can possibly be. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you an awesome day.